Can you hear that wind? That is so strong. It's the winds of winter. Hey y'all, my name is Molly and I have hooded brown eyes. Today, we're going to be diving back into the greatest Urban Decay palette of all time, Game of Thrones. And if you can't tell by my high budget outfit, we are going to be doing Winterfell. So I've got my sheepskin collar, aka this is like a moto vest from Target, and these feathery earrings that I wore in like 2005. Didn't throw them away. I knew that someday they would come into use again, and here they are. Even though my nails say a song of spring, the makeup's gonna be the winds of winter. First things first, we're gonna start with our transition shade, this taupey brown color called Nymeria. Oh, Nymeria. So I'm gonna dip into that with my Sigma E40 brush, and I'm going to just go on the top of my eyelids. Holy cow, I'm worried that our big maple tree in our front yard is going to get another branch snapped off, and I don't want that to happen. I wonder if you can hear that. If you can hear it, hit like. I'm just gonna take this color all the way to the top, and I'm gonna take it to the limit. Who is your favorite Winterfell character? And if you don't say Arya Stark, we can't be friends. Just kidding, we can be friends. I'm going to take my flat E.L.F brush and go into this purple shade called Weirwood Leaves. I was just talking to a friend yesterday about how much we love Game of Thrones. I was doing these tutorials, and I also used to really like this show called Lost, if you remember that. And I wonder, in 5 years, are we just going to forget about Game of Thrones? But then I think about Harry Potter, and people are still into Harry Potter, and it's been years since they did that, so. So I'm going to start here, bring the purple all the way out to here. So just above my natural crease, if you can see here, like when my hood comes over, you can't see anything. So I'm going to go about up to there. Here we go. And just like I did in King's Landing, I'm gonna swoop the color up just a scotch out here. Here we go, here we go, here we go now. That is not Game of Thrones approved. The color is now where I want it. Yes, it looks a little crazy right now, but it will all come together. Trust me, trust. As long as we're in Winterfell, let's talk about our favorite and least favorite characters that ever graced the hall of Winterfell. Favorite, Arya Stark, Jon Snow, Ned Stark. Bran Stark, no. No, and you shouldn't be sitting on the throne. Sorry, but no. It's just weird. Ramsay Snow, I do not have time for you, Ramsay Snow. You are awful, and you are the worst character in Game of Thrones. And by worst, I mean best, because that's brilliant writing for us to hate him that much. But what a pig. We're gonna swoop, swoop, swoop. Swoop like the crows. Y'all, this crazy thing just happened. This huge flock of, I wanted to say crows because we're in Winterfell, but this huge flock of blackbirds just landed in our backyard, just creeping around looking for worms. And then when I went to get my camera, they all swooped up, and then I only caught some of them flying by. The crows fly. The crows. I'm gonna go in with our Sigma E40 brush and blend some of this out. Now we're gonna go into this shade called The Sight. It's this beautiful emerald green jewel tone. I'm gonna go in with one of my flatter Ecotools brushes. It looks fluffy, but it's not, for sure. I'm going to take this and start on the inner half of my eye here. Stick him with the pointy end. Joffrey, my one true love. No, mother, I want to have little princes and princesses with golden hair. Winter is coming. Now I'm gonna go back in with that flat Ecotools brush that I used with Weirwood Leaves. I'm going to go into Winter is Here. It's this darker brown shade. It does have some shimmer in it, but we're still gonna use it. And I'm going to take this to the last third of my eyelid. First, I'm just gonna lay the color down to see how it looks. It's a little bit lighter than I would like it to be. On the line, love isn't always on time. Isn't that true, Ned Stark? And can we just talk about John and Egret for a second, or should I save that for for the hard home White Walker? No, you know what, we just need to talk about it because Jon Snow is originally from Winterfell. John and Egret are couple goals. And I can't believe that she died. No, I can, because they killed everyone in Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. You should watch it, because it's the greatest show in the world. But I also used to think Lost was the greatest show in the world until the last, season, and then I was like, Which is sort of how I feel about Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones was so well written. Ooh, does anybody else remember when Sansa Stark is sitting in that hall and we think that she's totally gonna rat out her sister Arya, but instead she rats out Lord Baelish? I was so glad to see that dipwad go. Lord Baelish, you sneak. And you know what? You never knew whose side he was really on. You sneaky devil. Now I'm going to take this flat Ecotools brush and go beneath my eye. I wonder whatever happened to Robin too. To Robin, the little boy that always wanted to throw people out the moon door. That moon door was crazy, his mom was crazy, and it was scary. And I can't believe Peter Baelish threw that lady through the... I mean, I can believe it. I was just so shocked along the way of everything that happened in Game of Thrones that I just think that's really clever writing. I really do. Love isn't always... Now, why is that song in my head? I'm now going to take the same brush that I used with that green jewel tone called The Sight. I'm going to dip back into that. But there's another show that I just started watching called Anne with an E, and I love it. It's not as epic as Game of Thrones, but... So I'm going to take that green color and go right here, and then I'm going to sort of blend it when it gets here. I know that it looks like we're going to the club, but there is no club in Winterfell. I just wanted Jon and Sansa and Arya to end up all together. But in the end, they got together and then they went their separate ways. And that makes me sad. I am glad though that Sansa finally got her sort of happy ending. She got to rule Winterfell on her own terms. But my lord, what she had to go through to get to that point was hard to watch. And I just made that worse. I gave myself raccoon eyes. We can still save it. It's time to highlight. I'm gonna go into the shade Winterfell. Ooh, it's so pretty, but I'm not gonna dig my finger in like I did to Bay of Dragons in the last video and break it all down. I'm gonna go with my little teeny tiny itsy bitsy E.L.F brush. That's right, I learned from my mistakes. You know who never learned? Ned Stark. And I feel like you'd be alive, Ned, if you learned from your mistakes. But you know what also I love about Ned Stark? He was willing to do what was right at whatever cost. But you have to be smarter than Cersei, Ned. Gotta be. And in the end, he lost his head. That was horrifying. I just think of Sansa and Arya's whole journey and how they both grew in such different ways, but they both grew into these strong women, and I really like that. You know what was the least satisfying thing about Game of Thrones? I'll tell you. It was Jon Snow's character arc. What was it all for? So that he could go live at the wall? That's what I just don't understand. I don't understand it. Somebody explain it to me. I feel like this has become more of a rant than a little makeup video, but now I'm going to go into that Winterfell color and I'm gonna go right up here. Oh my word. Can you hear that? Can you flipping hear that wind? Literally, this is Iowa right now. It is wet. It is freezing rain, and everything has turned into a sheet of ice. And it's April 12th. Someone's building a house next door, but what the who? That is insane. I just want to, I know, I was going to say, I just want to barely highlight it. And then I looked at it in the monitor and I was like, whoop! But you know, sometimes you just got to be extra because you never know when it's going to be your last day. So I say, do what makes you happy. I'm just going to smoke that out a little bit because that makes me happy. All right, I'm going to put on my winged eyeliner. I'm going to put on my mascara. I'm going to wipe off the fallout that is on my nose and cheeks, and I'll be right back with the final look. All right, y'all, that's the final look. This is my favorite look I've done so far. I know I always say that, but this is my favorite look I've done so far. Lord have mercy. This is just the greatest palette of all time. Not only is the packaging cool, this color story is just gorgeous. It makes me happy, just like watching Game of Thrones made me happy. The writing was amazing, except for some qualms I have with the last season. The story was amazing, the characters were amazing, but these colors and the fact that there's like four little mini palettes of warm tones and cool tones and iridescence, I just love this palette. And beat still my heart forever for Winterfell and for Jon Snow. Even though we went back to the wall, and we can talk about that in the next video that I do. I will be featuring Hardhome and all the cool shades of the White Walkers. I have to figure out a way to make it different than my Blue Blood palette, but I think I have a couple ideas. Well, I am off to start on Easter supper. I'm going to go pet my own little dire wolf. Just kidding, his name's Wyatt. He's a golden doodle and I love him so much. And I think I'm going to leave this makeup on all day because I feel like a powerful queen who could rule all of Winterfell. And I just think sometimes we need to feel strong and powerful even when we're a little bit scared. And I think that's what I really like about Game of Thrones, is courage through fear. If you like this video, if you have hooded brown eyes or hooded eyes or any eyeballs at all, or just a face that you want to schlop makeup on like I do, please like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.